Hi, beautiful people. Little production team issue. Little Frankie issue. Don't wake the puppy. So I'll wait for a few people to come on. And then I will play my intro song. There we go. Hello, Chef. It might just be you and me. Good morning. So, I'm playing my intro and the lovely Rita. If you can name it, then you get 2 tickets to Hawaii. Oh, look at the boots, baby. All right, it's a quickie. That was Move On Up by Curtis Mayfield with Frankie in the background for vocals. Oh, Christy. Frankie. And the reason why I picked Move On Up for this introduction to the lovely Chef Jason is that he's constantly moving on up. Maybe it's on his bike for fundraising for No Kid Hungry, or it's emotionally moving on up. That's what Chef Jason does. So I'm going to do a quick little intro, and then I'm going to bring him on, because we all have things to do. I love having you all here. So, if you've been living under a rock and you don't know how much I love this man, I will reintroduce you. Chef Jason Roberts, all the way from down under, from Australia, was brought into my life and many others through COVID. And he is part of No Kid Hungry and many other charities, but that's what we are going to talk about today, along many other things. So my intro is really going to just go right into questions. Chef Jason is a chef in Australia. He's also an athlete and a bike rider who does a lot of fundraising for No Kid Hungry. He's passionate about his causes that he really is very devoted to. He's passionate about teaching community, puppies that bark. And so today we are going to just dive into the questions. If you don't know him, I'll DM you and give you an intro, but I really want to use all the time we have here. So let me see if I can invite him. So you might have to come out and come back. Oh, God! Do you know what? I love you. You know why? That's the quickest that it's ever gone. It's when Poof the Magic Dragon.
Poof the Magic Dragon.
Puff the Magic Dragon. Good morning, Chef. How?
Do you know
How?
I'm
What?
good. Like, you know what that song's all about, right? Puff the Magic Dragon.
No, it get dirty.
No, it's a correlation to smoking weed.
I never knew that. Well, that's not what we're talking about here. So before I get into the questions, you're in Tuesday and I'm on Monday. How's your Tuesday?
Tuesday is good, actually. Tuesday is good. A few things on the cards. You know me, I'm always doing something, always busy, but always time to
Move
have a
on
chat
up.
with.
Yeah.
Move on up. Always
Move.
good to have a chat with you and the Boots babies and anyone's
I,
here. And
I,
obviously,
yeah.
big shout
Yeah.
out to Christy and Major with everything that they're going through. Bit of a tough loss.
Yeah.
So thinking of you guys.
Huge hug. We are wrapping our arms around Christy and Major and Matt. I'm never good at that, but mad love, like wrapping our arms, just wrapping, you know?
Yeah.
All right, this is going to be toothy, and if we have any room left for questions, but let's dive right in because I know you have a schedule, and I know Frankie has a schedule for barking. So
Yeah.
we're going to begin with No Kid Hungry because that's kind of where I really wanted to begin with your upcoming fundraiser. So No Kid Hungry began in 2010, and its mission was to address childhood hunger around the world. You began your journey in fundraising with them in 2012, and it consisted of your biking team, Chef Cycle, in 2014, doing many different challenges, rides, and raising money. Tell my 9 million followers and our Boots babies and everyone, tell us how you chose No Kid Hungry for that cause and what it means to you.
Yeah. So back in 2011, I'd actually signed with the Chew on ABC America as one of the co-hosts of that TV show, and because of that connection to TV and media, there was an opportunity had come up, and I had my agent had taken me along to an event with Share Our Strength and No Get Hungry. Um, um, Billy Shaw was speaking there. He's one of the co-founders of No Kid Hungry, along with Jeff Bridges, the dude, and several other speakers. And they were talking about the importance of feeding children at a school level. They mentioned that 1 in 5 kids turns up at school without a school breakfast. The importance of long-term, feeding these kids a meal. Also, the long-term damages of a child not getting fed. And so, anyway, there was a bit of a Q and I put my hand up for as with a bit of a question, I guess, and it sort of said, I understand the importance of giving a fish and eating for a day, but I also understand the importance of teaching to fish and feeding for a lifetime. And so this is where Jeff Bridges actually stood up and said, what they had implemented in, I think in San Diego and creating school garden projects and things like that. And just I just felt seen. I
Yeah.
felt like he was a real opportunity to stand up and do something. Chef Cycle came a little bit later, where we were piloted in 2000. I think 2013 or 2014 was the original, maybe 2013 to be honest. We rode from New York to DC with a handful of friends, and we raised 25,000. And then from there, it really grew into what it is today. And today, this year will be the 10th year, probably bordering 10 million, in which we've raised to help feed kids. So I'm just all in. I'm just all in when it comes to kids, and to know me and to know what G'day Neighbor is and everything that I have going on is to know that I have so much empathy and humility based around supporting children.
I love that. I did Chef Seamus Mullen ride with you?
Yeah, so Seamus Mullen, Jeff Mann, Hugh Magnum, like Chris Cosentino, like
Yeah,
really
I
big. I
know
mean, this.
Seamus. So yeah, yeah.
So I think where things really jumped off was the commitment from chefs to get out of their kitchen and have a day with other chefs. But I think going back maybe 2017, actually, Pink, Alicia and her husband Carrie actually did the ride with us and helped raise a huge amount of money.
Oh, I didn't
So
know she was involved. How cool! I love her even more now.
yeah, she rode. She rode 100 miles. She did one of the days. She rode 100 miles, and actually she had just had her youngest child, and he was only 5 months, I think. So she would ride, stop, feed, and get back on the bike again, like she was committed.
How
Because
much do
she
we
did the
love
full hundred
her?
miles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love that. So, part two of the fundraiser that everyone is going to be live with you on during the month of January, the Get Fit Initiative, which is part of No Kid Hungry, unites 50 health and wellness experts in many different forms to raise awareness and funds for No Kid Hungry. On Monday, January 22, you will be going live at 4 p.m. Eastern, and we will all be there. For every dollar raised, it connects a child to 10 meals, which is
yeah.
mind blowing. And as you
Mm.
mentioned, 1 in 5 kids is facing hunger. And this mission is so important. So tell us more about the fundraiser Get Fit and
Yeah.
what your wish is for it on your role.
So the Get Fit for No Kid Hungry is an activation, like you said, brings close to 50 odd, specialists, people who do yoga and strength training and nutrition, bring us all together. It gives us an opportunity, a bit of a platform to give back, raise awareness, but more importantly, to raise some dollars. That 1 in 5 kids is it varies from state to state. Some states do it a little bit better than others, and some states will probably do it a little bit harder. So that is just an averaging system. $1 will connect 10 children, and so obviously being very heavily government subsidized as well. But it makes a big dent in the population when we can raise big money as well. So the goal is to raise 300,000 this January. Next Monday, Tuesday, the one I'm doing, I think on the 24th. I get so confused with times as well.
No.
But the one I'm doing is, I've gone in to raise a couple of $1,000, and I think it's my first sort of charity, back with No Kid Hungry since COVID. I would love to have gone back this year for Chef Cycle, but it's just not going to plan out well for me, purely based on just other work commitments in May anyway. So I'll do something based around food. I'm going to be doing a little bit of cooking demo, a bit of this is what I start with, this is what I end with, snacks in between, and then just obviously I think getting behind people, encouraging to make differences and changes, and sort of living their best life through eating well, but also teaching people how to manage their mental health a little bit too. Not that I'm an expert, but I know that I've gone through some stuff, and I can speak from personal experience what works for me.
I love that. I really do because, I mean, as a health coach, we're always talking about, the gut and keeping fit, but this whole nugget up here, this brain and how we feel is vital and, what we put in the gut. So,
Yeah, it's
I mean, we could talk about that forever, but I will be there, and I know all the booth babies will be there. And then, will there be a link when you're live that we can donate money while you're live?
Hopefully, I'm still trying to work out the link thing. I think purely based on because of a personal profile versus a business profile, maybe I won't be able to. But there is a link in my bio already, and
Okay.
I just posted something on stories if people would like to make a donation. G'day Nick. Hello to everyone tuning in. By the way, I'm seeing a lot of names I haven't seen doing an Instagram live for quite some time. But a big hello and thank you for being here.
Yeah, we
Um,
love you all here.
there will definitely be a link on the day as well, Dee. And outside of that, I was thinking I'll probably do for the three biggest donations. I'm probably likely to give away some pottery as well.
Shut the front door.
Shut the front door. I'm going to
Shut
give.
the front. Oh, I can't.
I know we'll talk about that at some point, but
Yeah.
I think it's my way to really give back. G'day, Cav, 1053. It's my way to really give back, and for anyone who dips into their pocket to make a sizable donation. The three large. Oh, Billy Ritter
The
is here.
lovely Billy Ritter. I need to get my
Yes.
hat on. The Billy Ritter is in the
Okay,
house.
so goosebump moment, and I've been holding off from having this conversation and actually calling Billy, but my plan is this year, D, is to come and do a masterclass of sorts. G'day, B, how you going? To do one with Billy, and not to give a masterclass. I'm probably I could teach you what I know, but I think talk about life through clay and food, but do it with him. But uh, Billy, you're a very special person, my friend, and I'm grateful for you, as is everyone who's here, by the way. Um, but I want to lock that in. I've been very it's been hard for me just to book tickets to get out of the country purely based on my workload. But that is one of the first things I want to do is to book a trip to Cleveland, Ohio, spend a couple of weeks there, but for us to form like a 2 or 3 day masterclass and have people come along, and we got to work
Yeah.
out the nuts and bolts, but
Yeah.
you'll be the first to know, D, okay? But
Oh,
I'm
I
coming for
might
you,
have
Billy.
to get on a plane to Ohio. I've never been there.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea of the month, or is that too big of a
Look,
question?
I will check in with Billy because it's obviously got to work in with him and his seasons. But I like the idea of sometime in the middle of the year when it's cold here and warm back in the States.
Oh,
So
you and I, let's do it. Are you kidding? Oh my, are you kidding me? Oh, all right. So let's focus. Now we get onto like some other wonderful questions of kind of how we all got to know you. So you created Good Day Neighbor,
G'day,
during
neighbour.
COVID. and during COVID. And for me, like a fan and everyone here, it really felt that it was about opening up your kitchen window, saying, "Good day, neighbor," and hearing and sharing stories. And it truly felt like the children really gravitated to your window,
Yeah.
telling stories from their school day, sharing stories about how they felt about COVID, but just really sharing stories. So, what are the gems that you have learned most of from children in your community?
Um, okay, just quickly before, I just want to quickly shout out to a couple of
No,
friends I haven't spoken to for quite some time.
shout out.
Tracy Murphy, who's here, I'm thinking of you, and B. Hello, B. Also, Chef Rosemary is here. These are people that I've known for quite some time, based off social media through doing TV, and people who I've had the good fortune of knowing for quite some time, but very special people to me. As far as G'day Neighbour, I think there was a lot of purpose in opening up my window, and coincidentally, D, that window is this one here.
And I love it. It really is a window. It's an actual window.
It's a window, and it's actually a sunroom that I can. This is actually a sunroom that got converted to like a place to do I guess create content and video content and recipes and stuff like that, purely based on the lighting. It was also when I first met my dad when I was 18. This particular room was the room that I slept in. It literally is a 2 meter square. It's nothing. It's a very small little space. I used to sleep on the floor in here. It's just coincidental. He's now up there, and I'm still here, and I create this incredible opportunity to create content, but also open that window. And what G'day Neighbor had really become was a space to feel loved, safe, needed, seen. Um, all those things we needed through COVID, and I think all those things that COVID had taken away. I mean, COVID was ruthless, and for some people still sucked into the black hole that COVID really is, and finding it hard to get out of it mentally, because to have isolated for so long, and to remove human connection, I think has been incredibly damaging. And I think with a lot of sickness that we deal with now, and definitely an increase in a lot of different things, but I would say a big part is that hole that's been left here, and what floods in with it, whether it's a sickness or poor mental health or whatever it is, but this internalized not feeling good. So this has been a very special place for me, and obviously Christy is here. I'm not too sure if Major's about, but I will never forget the day where I'd made these connections with the local kids on the streets, and certainly with Major. I think because Major had some respiratory issues, didn't turn up to school for a lot of, or a big portion of COVID at the start. And and Major had been saving dollars through, doing chores and selling pig face, and probably a lemonade stand, or, I don't know, or selling lemons. But she did a lot of things, and the plan was to fly up and meet me and cook with me, and go to a market and buy things, and all the things which we've actually done. But I turned around one day, I believe it was a rainy afternoon. I'm just gonna, maybe it was a Tuesday, and I had turned around, and a Christy had actually reached out, said, "You're going live today." I'm, yeah, I'm just, and I think she may have texted me, just double checking or something like that. Anyway, I'm here cooking and "G'day neighbor," and getting down. And on today's show, we're going to do this, this, and this. And then I'm pretty sure I went like this.
Oh, and she was
Oh, well,
there.
Major's here. Oh my God, what are you doing here? I couldn't I
Oh,
couldn't believe it. It was the 1 year anniversary. Thank you, Christy. And she had actually raised $800. There was a parcel that had been delivered, and I think Christy said Major's asleep right now, and rightly so. The poor wee thing has had a big week. So yeah, grateful for you, Christy and Brad, and for the pathway that you created for Major. I think is, as parents, what you've done for her, but also what you've done for me as a human, and the importance of having connection. I think we live in a world also where it's been tough, and there's some pretty strange people out there, but I feel blessed to not be vilified for opening up my window to kids and offering information and knowledge and I just love kids, and I feel like for a big part of my childhood I probably missed out on it because I had to grow up and deal with some big issues. So I just love the fact that I have this connection, and to be honest, I'd probably spend 95% of my time with kids if I could, because kids are just really cool. They teach us so much about ourselves.
You know what? You've nailed it there. They are the best teachers. And I think I fell in love with Major. And for anyone who doesn't know, I have interviewed Major. And she is one of the most gifted, wise, loving souls at the age of 11, right? Is she 11?
Yep.
She didn't turn 12 yet, yeah, 11. And I love the connection between you two. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
really beautiful. And that began, oh, Jody care. That began, with you opening your window. I mean, it's so symbolic. You open your
12.
12. Oh, my
Jesus.
blimey.
What
12.
happens
Forgive
when you
me,
get
Major.
do you see what
Forgive
happens?
me. 12.
See what happens when you get older. You just forget stuff. Oh my gosh,
Well,
she's 12.
that's
One
a
and two is
perfect
three.
That's a perfect segue because we're going to talk about someone else's birthday. So, question number 4. The big 50 is coming your way on
Woo.
February 9th. The big 50. So, what does that mean to you? And what are your wishes? Now, the young people, they talk about floors. So, 50 is the fifth floor of life. I don't know if you like that, but what does it mean to you? What does 50 mean? What does your birthday mean? What, tell the 9 million following.
I mean, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer about it at all, but I don't know. It's definitely a milestone. And to be honest, to still be here is a gift. Like, I feel grateful, and I look at my life and think I've been blessed. And I sometimes, you ever have moments where someone goes, I remember that time when you did this, and you're like, oh my God, I completely forgot about that. Like, I've done a lot of things. I've traveled. I've done some courageous things, and I've traveled a lot, and I've met some incredible people. And like, honestly, I just feel blessed. Um, and there's talks at the moment, obviously, because it's bordering 50, and my family, my brother, my mother, my sister, and the bulk of my family live in New Zealand. And then I've got some great friends here, and so people are asking, what are you going to do for your 50th? I'm like, not plan anything, I can tell you that. Hello, Ryan at the Fairlight Butcher. I don't really want to plan anything or do anything, to be honest. And it sounds really bad, but I'd quite easily crawl under a rock on my 50th and just watch it go by, because, like, man, I do feel like I have everything and I'm really blessed. But I think the idea will be to go back to New Zealand and go spend it with my mum and my brother and my sister. My sister couldn't make it out for Christmas, and hopefully Hunter, my son, and his partner Millie may turn up or can come. I've called him. I'm waiting on a message back, but we all know teenage kids don't necessarily return phone calls.
They
So I'm
don't know
waiting
what
on
a
him.
phone is.
Yeah, but I would say I will celebrate the entire year, and I will remind people consistently that this year is my 50th year. I think I've been telling people for the last 2 years that I'm turning 50. So maybe I've weakened the idea of the 50th birthday on the 9th of February, just in case you haven't got it down yet. 9th of February. Um,
Fellow
I don't know.
Aquarians, Aquarians.
What I do know, Dee, is that I've been on this trajectory, and probably more so since my dad had died, is that I'm limitless. I can do whatever I want. And I say no a lot more to a lot of different things. And I know who I am. So I'd say I'd sort of come into my 50th year probably a couple of years ago, where I realized who I am and what I am to my community, to the people around me. And I just honestly, I feel blessed, and I feel like I hold a lot of space for humility, for humans, and I always wish I could do more. Not just do more things, but do more for others. It's just how where I feel the best.
Well, it's how you fill your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's how you fill your heart. I'm gonna throw in, I'm gonna be pushy. So I want to talk about pottery for a minute. So COVID brought a lot your way. As you mentioned, it brought a lot to everyone. But as a new friend, I learned about your journey through virtually growth and grief. and caregiving with the loss of your dear father were part
Yeah.
of that journey.
Mhm.
And I think that it's when you started making and creating pottery, or maybe you did it before,
Yeah.
but you talked to me in the last interview about the concept of healing through your hands.
Yeah.
So tell us more about what pottery has meant to you and where we can all buy your beautiful work.
I'm so bad on selling it and shipping it.
I'll
That's
be
the
your
only thing is that
agent. I'll be your
it,
agent.
it really the biggest issue D really comes down to packaging and getting something somewhere without it breaking. So I've been very fortunate. I just had a shipment arrive in Japan. I've sent 40 odd pieces to the States, but in bulk for different commissions, or three different commissions. Um, the pottery for me is a way of feeling seen. It's a way of communicating without words, if that makes sense. I think when I don't know. It's quite strange because when I talk about my dad's death, I think everyone deals with death in a different way. Some people don't deal with it. Some people avoid it. Some people will turn to drugs and alcohol and do everything they can not to deal with it. And I think I felt I had to lean into it. I just had to deal with it. But pottery was something I'd actually been doing for probably a year prior, prior to that. And when COVID had initially started, I had a wheel in the house, thankful to my good friend Christina up the road who lent it to me. But I learned to make a lot of mistakes at the wheel. And there was just this crazy connection between life and clay and not actually having to talk. Um, Not everyone will know this, but I would say I'd become quite agoraphobic after my dad had died. I couldn't leave the house, and for all the young kids and people who would knock on my window in the afternoons when I would go live at 4 or 5 o'clock my time, um, I stopped going to the window, and in fact, someone would knock and I would hide from it because one of the windows here you can actually see through, and so I'd sort of like hide and pretend not to be home. But slowly but surely, clay gave me that space to sort of start integrating again. But it did take some months. But I just evolved. I just felt this evolution. But it really is the thing that was tactile, that wasn't necessarily words that could allow me to evolve. And so I mean, I look at the pieces now, and I'm beyond proud of what I do. Like I don't think I've ever, even with food in the years, I know I'm a really good cook. I could cook anything, anything. There's nothing I couldn't cook. And if I couldn't, then I would Google it and then I'd be really good at it. I'd master it. It's just who I am when it comes to food. But I've learned over 30 years, you learn to master something. Hello, Melissa. Big fan of yours too, sweetheart. But there is something, and I know Billy would say the same thing. But when you make a bowl, for example, and you learn to use the tools, not just your hands, but like even a metal rib, and to create shape that has flow to it. To have studied food and worked with food for so long, there is something that is amplified through clay that works so well with food as well. Um, so it's been a big journey for me, D. But it is what I would really like to say about this is if anyone who's suffering with any grief is trying to align yourself with some sort of creative space, because it's a way to articulate things, words, feelings without actually having to say them. And what you create is personal, but also gives a place for you to be seen where you don't have to promote yourself. Like it's really hard to explain unless you're doing it. And I know Billy would see it. I know Billy, for the reason we all see Billy, is because his work is beautiful, but he's also a beautiful human.
I mean, we could talk a lot about that. I think that there's something forgiving in a way of working in a creative thing with clay. It takes many different forms and it's forever changing. And maybe that's what
Mhm.
your heart needed to do while it had grieving through COVID and then it had grieving through your dad. And it was your protector in a way. And
Yeah.
then from that, it created such beauty that now we're talking about your pride. And I love when people can be proud of what they've created. I
Mm.
mean, and I love the concept of being quiet because it's something I'm working on. And I think a lot of healing can be done in the quiet. So
Yeah.
I love that. Um, the final question, and then if you want to throw in, I want to know where people can find you. So
Yep.
I created a business called Healing Fully, Living Freely,
Yep.
a chef, a health coach, and an author. I help people get out of fear and confusion around their health and into clarity and balance. I specialize with diabetics, but not limited. But I always like to ask people I interview, what does it mean, healing fully, living freely, to you,
Yeah.
Chef Jake?
I guess it's relative considering the things that we spoke about. A, being charitable. B, turning 50, and dealing, I guess, having dealt with death. And also C, with clay. Um, for me, I mean, healing fully to me, it conjures up this idea of letting go of some preconceived ideas of what you think healing was before, letting go of old habits, things that may not necessarily have worked for you, and being open to being limitless and trying something completely different. Allowing healing fully is allowing someone else in to help you, letting go of ego. Like there is just so for me, there's a lot of letting go. When I would say that maybe that's a big part of it. If we could go back to turning 50. Turning 50 is about letting go of something that I thought that I was. Um, I think it also embodies the ideals of opportunity and growth to heal fully. I think there is something beautiful about a man or a woman who lets go of their hair and lets it grow out and be grey and beautiful. A woman who can get up in the morning and not have to stick 4 inches of makeup on. A man who can get through life and not have to buy the Porsche or worry about the hair transplant. I think there is something really beautiful about just letting go and letting you be, because true love and empathy and humility comes from seeing someone's soul, but we have to lead them to that too. We have to give them reason to want to see it. So I think healing fully is about opportunity and growth, but a big part of it is letting go of what you think you thought you were.
I mean, drop the mic.
Boom. Boom.
Boom, shakalaka. Drop the
Love
mic.
that.
All right, my love. It's 3:34 in America. Where can people find you? How can we support your fundraiser? Let the people know.
Okay, so next week, I believe it's the 24th, I'm doing my Get Fit for No Get Hungry. It'll
I,
be a
I
45 minute to an
have it on
hour.
the 22nd. Did I get that wrong?
It's the
Monday the 20.
22nd.
Okay,
It
Monday
is the 20.
the 22nd in America
Yeah,
at 4 p.m. Eastern. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that will be going live. You look, when so people can find me, look, come to my window, 125 O'Donnell Street, North Bondi. Come hang out. We'll probably do
I'll
a
be there
garden run.
tomorrow.
Outside of that, we've worked out the importance of not being on social media all the time. Chef Sean Connolly, he knows about social media. Actually, come check out one of his restaurants. I
I think I have a
I
cookbook. I think I bought
oh,
his cookbook. Yeah.
oh, there you go. Well, Sean's an
Yeah.
incredible chef with a delicious head of hair too. Um, I I'm on here sporadically, not as much as I used to be with G'day Neighbor, but I'm still here. That fundraiser next week. I would love for you guys to come and join. There is a link in my bio. There's a link in the stories at the moment, and for the top 3 donations. I will be giving away 3 pieces of pottery. I will not charge you shipment. I want those of you to have a piece of this pottery. And I will tell you, I currently have a commission for close to 100 pieces for a brand new restaurant opening in LA under a Michelin star chef. So this is a quick
Oh my
insight to what they look like. I
God.
can't say too much, but I pretty
Oh,
much just told you everything.
holy crap. When are they getting them in LA?
I'm so this is one of the shapes at the moment.
Oh my God.
This is one of the shapes. So I'm just sending a couple of I've got a couple more pieces just to pull together. Garbage day, garbage trucks are
I
here.
can't
So I will
hear.
be. So one is a dark matter mid-fire, the other is another mid-fire clay, and I will be giving away one of my Ora King salmon bowls with the turquoise, where the ocean meets the sand. By,
Oh, I can't.
by yours truly.
Any chance that that LA restaurant will be open in February?
No, no, it's not for another 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
I've got to be very careful what I
No,
say
no,
about that restaurant, but
no, I
I'm
know
very
nothing. I
excited.
know nothing. All right. Well, I'm going to let you go because you have a full Tuesday and I have a short Monday to finish. But
Yeah.
I love you with all my heart. I always learn from you. I am always inspired by you. And my 9 million followers love you even more than I do.
Not possible, D. Not possible. A big shout out to Pete McQueen, to Shannon at All Things Meat, Chef Rosemary. Next, it's the 22nd, Eastern. I think 4 p.m. that we
Yep.
said.
Yep.
I will put. I will tag you on the link for itself. But there is a link in my bio if anyone would like to make a donation. Like I said, this charity is going towards No Kid Hungry and feeding kids at a school level. It's helping try and change and break that cycle of kids who turn up to school without a meal, who don't have that opportunity to have a full belly and a brain that's open to learning. So I don't know. Oh, also, just quickly, D. Actually, I'm glad I remember this. Do you know today is Martin Luther King Day? It's
Yeah, I
actually
know.
his
I thought how
birthday.
beautiful. I love that we're doing it today. Yeah.
It's his birthday today, so the public holiday or the federal holiday actually falls on every third Monday of January. It just happens to coincide with his actual birthday today as well. But this is a quote from him. I wanted to read this to you. Why should there be hunger and deprivation in any land, in any city, at any table, when man has the resources and the scientific know how to provide all mankind with the basic necessities of life? There is no deficit in human resources. The deficit is in the human will. So it is in all our hearts, on all our shoulders, to go and be of to go above and beyond for all those going hungry and without. So this is why I do what I do, not because of that quote, but partially because I believe in people.
Well, I mean, that's a beautiful way to end. And I will rally all the Booth babies. You know, with IGIC, we raised quite a lot of money in the
A
beginning of
lot.
COVID. But we will definitely, the Booth babies will rally around and we'll raise more money for the children that deeply need it. So
Right.
I'm gonna let you go. I'm so grateful for your time, and then I'm gonna do a final closing.
Yeah.
And thank you to all the people that came. If you don't know who I am, I'm Di. I do Chatting with Di, where I talk to people who teach me, inspire me, and make me laugh. And Jake, can you hit all three?
You're a dog. Oh, thanks, Steve. Thanks to all the Boots babies, to Christian Major who are there. To I saw Jet
Big
was on
hug
there.
to
Hello,
nature.
Jet. I've actually got to go do some pottery. I'll see
All
you
right,
guys later.
you do your thing, and I'll wrap it up.
Bye,
Have a
love.
beautiful Tuesday. All
Bye, bye.
right, bye, love.
Bye.
What a gift! What a gift! And to do it on Martin Luther King Day, even more of a gift. So I thank you all for coming. Like I said, if you don't know who I am, I'm Di. I'm in New York. That was Jake in Australia. I do Chatting with Di, where I interview people who teach me, inspire me, and make me laugh. And Jake is such a beautiful human being to represent being my teacher, my inspiration, and making me laugh. So I'm going to wrap it up with the same thing I opened for the people who didn't show up. If you name the song, you get 2 tickets to Hawaii. Move on up, people. Move on up. The wonderful thing about Chef Jacob is that he's always moving it up. And even when he needs to be quiet and he needs to heal, then that's what he does. So move on up, people. Find a way to move on up. Grow, learn, love, dance, shake your booty, take care of your puppy, Frankie did very well, right? Frankie! I have a puppy. Anyway, I love you all. Christy, a huge hug for you and Major. Booth Baby, Jaja, all of my 9 million followers. Until we meet again, chatting would die over and out. Tam Tam! Oh, I love you.